Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers, Adam.
Hello.
And Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room once more to give our take on the shit we like. And in this week's episode, we're doing a spooky Halloween special. We're going to talk about some spooky stuff, reminisce on the scarier moments of the year. But we're also going to talk about some recent stuff in the last week, such as the most recent State of Play and any other little trailers or things that caught our eye that we'd like to chat about in this week's episode. So if you enjoyed this at any point and you're watching this on YouTube, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so you're aware of future content that comes out. And please do jump down into the comments, most importantly, to share your own thoughts of the stuff we bring up and, you know, any questions you have or anything you want to raise with us. We'd love to get into discussion with you guys. If you listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on everything we bring up. And please do give us a follow. We'd appreciate the support. But without further ado, let's get spooky.
Practice our Vincent Price voices.
Oh, yeah. Do your best Vincent Price voice.
You just can't, can you? Can anyone really mimic him?
Nah, he was amazing.
Yeah.
I really loved him in Call of Duty.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Who the fuck is Vincent Price?
You don't know
who the fuck is Vincent Price?
Is there an
if
echo?
If you say his name 3 times in a Zoom call, he shows up behind you. Vincent Price is the guy who he does the narration at the end of Thriller, but he was also like, wasn't he the narrator for Scooby-Doo? And he was in loads of like old school like horror scary movies.
Yeah, there was a thing one time, I can't remember which show it was, but Christopher Lee was being interviewed one time, and Vincent Price comes onto the show as kind of like a surprise guest, and Christopher Lee was absolutely nerding out. Like, I've never seen him fangirl over anyone before, but Vincent Price was his god, essentially.
You can believe that. Actually, yeah. If you don't know who Vincent Price is, Christopher Lee is the next closest thing.
Very much so. He's the British
really
Vincent Price.
Spooky man.
Do you ever see the is it Tim Burton's animation? I think he did an animation that Vincent Price narrated once.
Wasn't it like a short animation? Wasn't it?
Yeah, of a cat. Was it of a cat?
I can't remember.
I remember it being great though. It was really good.
I actually watched The Nightmare Before Christmas today.
Today,
yeah. Watched The Nightmare Before Christmas.
See, when is the right time to watch that?
Well,
is The Nightmare
Christmas.
Before Christmas, before we get into anything else, is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? If it had to be one or the other, which is it?
It's actually a November movie.
Because November is terrifying. November is a nightmare.
It is, because that's when, if you're in any form of education, it's when it's like, now there's all these fucking shit going on.
I always
You're gonna
consider
be
it
bombarded with all
a Christmas movie. Yeah.
You think it's a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I consider it a Christmas movie.
How come?
It's mostly about Christmas. Like, that's what he's building. Like, you're building up to that, and most of the film is built around Christmas themes. It starts with Halloween, like that's just the intro, but like, if
Eric,
the
what do you
rest
think?
of it is all Christmas, then I think it's a Christmas movie.
What do you think, Eric?
I still think it's November because it starts with Halloween and it's building up to Christmas, so it's a November movie.
You think it's a midway movie? It's a November movie in your lead up to, like, so after Halloween. It's a
But you
limbo.
can
But it
only
does do
watch,
Christmas, like the film.
yeah,
like,
see,
takes place.
I was about to say that you can only watch a second every day. So by the end of the movie, you should be at Christmas. You watch a second every day.
Maybe it's an Easter movie. The Easter Bunny's in there.
No, don't be ridiculous.
It's not an Easter movie.
It's not an Easter movie.
100% not an Easter movie. You know what? I'm gonna go with it's a Halloween movie, but it gets you pumped for Christmas.
He ruins it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but then Santa comes and fixes it because Santa's badass.
It's a fucking brilliant movie, though.
Yeah, it's great. The music's great. It's Danny Elfman, isn't it?
The music is Danny Elfman, yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to it, like, obviously because it's Tim Burton and Danny Elfman, and I was just like,
I don't know who the director is, though.
It's Tim Burton.
No, he's not the director.
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Is he only the writer?
That. Yeah, I think so.
Stop.
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
I will not.
I did not know that anyone else directed this. Look this up. We need to know.
Trying to,
But you
I'm
keep
failing.
talking to me. Don't fail me. Don't you fail us. Let us know.
Hope that doesn't mess up the recording, actually. Last time we did that, it did.
Oh. Yeah, me too.
Just do it on my phone.
Yeah, I'll just check on the phone here.
Sure. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I was thinking of Batman during it whenever the music. I was like, it
Henry
sounds like Batman.
Selick?
Oh my god, I had no idea there was a different director.
There you go.
Tim Burton just wrote it?
Yep.
Or did he?
Yep. Story and characters is what he did.
Wow.
It'd be really wild if Tim Burton had nothing to do with it and everyone just kind of fabricated this concept that Tim Burton's name was on the cover. And it never was.
Really changes how you think about him as a director, though, doesn't it? Because when you think about, like, you go, name Tim Burton's greatest movies, you would have named that. You would have put that in there.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, that and Batman.
Now name how many great movies he's done.
Batman.
Yep.
Batman every time.
But that's about it, though, isn't it?
It's funny.
Well, I like
Batman,
Sweeney Todd. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good. The first Batman, though, is like, it's Tim Burton. Once you've heard it's Tim Burton, you see Tim Burtonisms in it.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know it was Tim Burton, you wouldn't automatically, with that first one, you wouldn't automatically go, oh, this is 100% a Tim Burton movie. Whereas you would with Batman Returns. That's
Batman Returns, definitely.
That's so Tim Burton.
Yeah.
But the first one, which I do think is a better movie, it's just got, I don't know, the DNA of Gotham in it. It's got a little bit of Tim Burtonisms in it, but not so much that it's actually, I think it could still be his best movie.
Yeah, I think it's his best film. And it's so, like, I know the animated series came after it, but it is
they're quite intertwined.
Like, the campiness is there, the seriousness is there, the gothicness of it is there. Yeah, Batman Returns is, but you can see why the studio kind of shot themselves a bit. I love it, though. It's kind of, that's the type of Batman I want to see, but the studio was terrified.
No bat. Now shut up.
That's the first one.
I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you love the second one.
I love the second one, yeah. I think it's great.
I love the second one too. Yeah, it's great. Though,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, those 4 movies just gradually get worse. You know what I mean? Like, the first one is
there's
the
like
best
elements
one,
of
and then-
Batman Forever, though, that are like, this is okay. And then it just becomes, what the fuck?
When I was a kid, Batman Forever was my favorite Batman movie. When I was like
Really?
a small kid, yeah, because I loved the Riddler.
Yeah, okay.
To this day, I love the Riddler. That's why I'm so excited about this new version of the Riddler, because I'm like, look at it, give me the Joker any day, right?
Mhm.
But after the Joker, the Riddler is probably the most interesting Batman villain. And we just don't have that many incarnations of him, so it's just going to be interesting. Anyway, stop now. I'll end up talking about that Batman trailer again.
Great trailer.
For another whole episode.
That trailer is probably
Fuck.
better than every film that came out this year, nearly.
Yeah,
It's a very good
nearly.
trailer.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I suppose before we get into any other, I mean, that was fairly Halloweeny, but before we talk about any other spooky stuff or do any kind of spooky recaps of our scariest moments this year, there was a state of play during the week that
Terrifying.
that was probably it was scary actually. It was scary that they put that out.
Mm-hmm.
And straight after I had a tweet going, well, what did you think? Oh my god, people are so harsh as well though. But
Well,
yeah.
like, yeah.
I mean, you
tell them
asked.
yeah,
People
tell
are
them what
being
you think.
honest, so-
Tell them what you think. There's no
Well,
point.
well,
I
you-
just don't see the point in them.
What do you think?
Well, it was. I think I sent you the tweet. It was, I don't know who sent that. It was just the perfect summation of it, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, where it was like, it's like going to a job meeting where everything you're told could have been summed up in an email.
Yeah, it was a tweet from this guy Tom Warren
Yes.
from The Verge. Sony State of Play was one of those meetings where it should have been an email, and that's the best description of it. Yeah, it was just fucking pointless. I mean, most of the stuff I think we kind of seen before. Like that little, what's it called? Little devil, little
Little devil inside?
piece of shit.
I
Devil.
like
That looks good.
That looks
that-
great, but we've seen it before. We've seen it, and we still don't actually have a date for it.
No. But it looks great, and it looks like one of those games that I would pick up when it's free on PlayStation Plus.
I thought that what's it called? We Are OFK. Is that the name of it or something?
Right. Yeah, the band thing.
Yeah.
That kind of grabbed my attention. Out of everything that was there, I was like, this is a getting weird, kind of like almost like a Life is Strange, but
I got that.
like it seems funny. Like it seems like a really funny game.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I would enjoy it though. All of
Yeah,
it, like
I don't know.
I think I'd like the idea of it more than the execution of it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. Well, I know. I thought it was the artwork was pretty interesting. I think it'd be one that I'll keep an eye out on and see what are the reviews like. And maybe in a sale sometime might be something to pick up. But that just goes to show, like, what was shown at this show. Like, it's just fucking.
Were you not excited about Big Snacks, Adam?
Oh, Big Snacks.
Big Snacks, yeah.
Lost my shit. Couldn't believe it.
The expansion.
Obviously, that
You're
game.
the only one of us that played Bug Snacks.
Yeah, I didn't complete it though.
You
It's not
got
like
far.
I got
I thought
pretty
you-
far.
You said you nearly.
I nearly completed it. I nearly did.
I didn't even start it.
Do you know
I
what
don't
was
think I
stopping
even
me?
downloaded it.
What was stopping me from completing it?
What?
I only have 2 more Bug Snacks to collect, and I have them all.
And what's stopping you?
They're really
What's
hard to
actually
get.
stop-
You have to.
Oh.
You have to collect them.
I honestly thought it was by choice. That
No.
you didn't finish
There
it.
was
You-
because there's certain Bug Snacks that will only appear at certain times or
Right.
weather. So it's like really like, yeah, and I'm just not arsed. So I
yeah,
put it
but
off.
that should be the actual. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I remember when they kept showing that. There was one point
Yeah.
where that was like Deathloop,
That
and
was
I was
funny.
like, "What? You have a new fucking like next generation cutting edge technology console coming out, and like, why the fuck are you showing us this walrus with a cowboy hat?"
It obviously did well enough for them to have like a
Big
free
expansion.
A free expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it did. No, yeah, I'm sure it did, but I don't know why it did.
Yeah. Well, you haven't played it, did you? So
Yeah,
Chris,
you know what?
You
I'm
can't
very
say shit.
judgmental. I'm judgmental. You know, I haven't played any of these state of play games, but I was also nonplussed by them.
Yeah, I mean, like the amount of money spent on this is like this could go somewhere else.
I'll tell you what baffles me about the whole thing in a minute, but Eric, I'd love to. Have you got any other thoughts on it, or like, did anything stand out to you?
Yeah, the little devil inside. That's why I said I'd get it when it's free on PlayStation Plus, because I do actually want to play that, but I don't know if I'd be wanting to spend money on it. Like,
Right. Okay.
That looks
'cause
really-
fuck
that
those
looks really-
developers.
Fuck those
Well,
guys. You know, just 'cause-
like
Get your
if
creative
if it looks
guns out
really
here.
good and is like the same price as like Kina was, then yeah, I might pick it up, right? But
I'd say it could be, or maybe even cheaper.
I think that's likely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's likely.
yeah, because like I really liked, you're on the train and it looked like as if it was going to go into that Lovecraftian sort of horror, and then it did, but has that sort of fantasy element and stuff. And you like having the people in the I really like the look.
I was
of that.
I was surprised by how much is in it. It looks like
yeah.
quite a large game.
Yeah, and like the different locations you go to, and the fucking Atreo. No, not Atreo, but what's the name of the horse? In
in what?
Never Ending Story.
Oh, you got to do that to me. What are you doing, Artax?
Yeah. Remember, like that. I got serious feels when he was in the snow. I was like, oh, that's Never Ending Story right there. That donkey's gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah. The donkey's so dead. Don't go through any swamps. Swamp of Sorrows. That's where it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So that looked really good. And honestly, I thought while watching it, fairly underwhelming, sure. But I was like, at least they actually showed more than just one game. I remember there was that long period where it was just like, here's the state of play. Ooh, what are we going to show? And here's Deathloop for 20 minutes. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So at least they showed us more than just
I-
one game, but they could have
got-
showed us more.
They got my hopes up at one point. Motherfuckers.
Really?
I saw Square Enix on screen.
Oh, right. And maybe
And I was like,
remake
here we go.
Part 2.
No.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
that. I'm not that stupid. Okay, I know that's a long way off. I was like, Final Fantasy 16. They told us last year more coming 2021.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we got to get that at one of these things. Like at one of these things, we got to get a Final Fantasy 16 somewhere. It's probably going to be the fucking Game Awards or something. But so Square Enix came on, and then as soon as I saw the artwork, I was like, oh, no, it's Star Ocean. Okay, cool for people who like the Star Ocean franchise. I know that's a long-running franchise, and it's probably very exciting for people. It's probably one of the bigger games that was shown at this.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, man, I just know there's a lot of people who are like, I wanted Final Fantasy 16 though. Like I know there's a lot of people who had a few games on their checklist for what they hope to see at this, and none of them were shown. So
yeah, but that seems to be like every state of play.
Yeah, we have to stop having expectations, really.
Yeah, it's just abandon your dreams.
No, like we should have absolutely all the expectations, and they should be fucking delivering. Like Sony are the only ones out of the three that have like we have a ton of questions, and they're just not delivering. Like, where the fuck is VR2?
They are worse than the writers of Lost.
Where's VR2? Where's the actual gameplay then for the next God of War? Like, I know we saw a little bit of it, but you know, that's coming out next year. Like, there's nothing to show. Where's remake part 2 of Final Fantasy 7? Like, even if you're just going to announce it, because with the original, they announced it was many years later before the game came out. But like, where's the announcement for it? Where's like, there's possibility of all these promises coming when it's like, but where is this shit? At the moment, you are doing a terrible job, or maybe that's the intention, to do a terrible job of selling the PS5 because you can't supply the thing. At the moment, it still seems okay to own a PS4 and just stick with your PS4. There's no need for a PS5.
Yeah, and actually, and to be honest, this is one of the things that, this is what baffles me about the state of play, and it's happened before, where they'd have like a state of play or a PlayStation event showcase or whatever, and then the next day or 2 days later, they would share something. I'm like, why wasn't that at that? Right? So 2 things came out in like the few days after like the state of play. One of them was the very next day was this Seize the Throne thing. Right? They had a trailer for it, and they put out this thing, and it's not a game, but it kind of is. It's a community-based thing. It's this, you sign up for it, anyone who has a PSN account, and you play games and you earn trophies, but you're like, it's like you're trying to earn communal trophies. So everyone's working together, and the more points you build up, everyone will get rewards. Anyone who's signed up for it.
All right, okay.
So it's something worth signing up for. It sounds like a bit of fun. You get different trophies depending on. So if you play games on your own, you'll get something. If you play online with friends, you'll get even more. So it's trying to encourage you to play online and play with friends, or to just play games, right?
Okay.
And there's a limited time for this, and there's like tiers, and it's called Seize the Throne, and it has that artwork of, you know, like the whole chess video thing that they had at the beginning of the PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole marketing part of it, and the idea is that you're kind of by working as a community together, reaching certain goals, you are defeating the kind of villains or whatever. You're like beating the bosses. So it's like bosses that you have to beat just by playing video games. That came out the next day after State of Play. I was like, why wasn't that part of State of Play to make people feel like they're part of a big PlayStation community?
Yeah.
Is weird. Like, there's actual rewards for it, and one of the rewards is that they will be giving out free PS5s to people who can obviously not fucking everyone, but you will be able to enter into a draw to get your hands on a PS5, as well as a few other bits and pieces. So there's both digital and physical rewards for taking part in this thing, and all you have to do is sign up and play games. It's a cool thing. It's a cool idea. But I don't know why they put that out the day after they had a State of Play. I don't know what
like, maybe gamers just don't give a fuck, but like, I love like software updates to the console, or I love getting new features. Like, so we just got I'm an Apple Music subscriber, so we just got Apple Music for the PS5. Fucking finally, but we got it. And it's shit like that I love, because it makes my PlayStation a media hub outside of gaming, because I don't get to play that many games, but I do get to use it as an entertainment system, and I love that. But like, you didn't know about the 3D audio for normal televisions feature.
No. Yeah.
And you probably never would have known that. And it's like, why isn't that part of these events? Like, here's our software update. Here are the new features. Kind of like what they did with, remember when they introduced the software at the beginning, they showed you the kind of little control panel and all that kind of stuff. They showed you how to use it. Mm-hmm. But they keep adding new features to it. So why not make that part of these events and show it? Just show that. Like, I think these consoles are more than just games. Like, obviously games are really, really the central part of it and really important, but it's like, why own this over a PS4 or even a competitive console if the games still work on previous gen? Like, what is it that makes this thing fucking special? Like, it's weird. I just don't understand why they don't include these in these events.
Well, speaking on the fact that you were saying that, like, maybe they're acknowledging the fact that not a lot of people could still get their hands on PS5s. It's going to be a lot longer. And also, this was another thing that actually at time of recording was released today that I was like, why was this not at State of Play? Even if it's something that a lot of people already have, or they've already played, or they've already checked out. Why was this not at a State of Play that was literally a couple of days before? And that was that Spider-Man Miles Morales is being released on the PS4. That's one of their big flagship games. Why wouldn't and that is, I think, it's speak to what you're saying. That is their way of basically saying, we know this is one of the games that a lot of people wanted to get with their PS5. We also know that a lot of people cannot get a PS5 for a lot longer. Mm-hmm. So, because this is kind of a step backwards. Normally you get a game on a PS4 and then you get a PS5 edition, as opposed to a PS5 game and a PS4 edition a year later.
Yeah.
So this is obviously just to say, look, we know a lot of people want to play this game. Here you go. Here's it on a version that a lot of people would already have.
I'm wondering too then, yeah, that does definitely sound like that's an action to what's happening at the moment with the shortages and stuff. I just shared with you, I think it was today, wasn't it, about the PlayStation Studios PC. So now they have a PC division. They're going to be bringing more games to the PC. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's also a reaction to, like, we can't get enough consoles out there. We need to start bringing our games to PC so we can actually continue to sell software. What do you think of that?
I think that's very likely.
Do you think it's a good action, though?
I don't think it's a bad action. There's a lot of people I know who play primarily PC, and they would love to play these games, but these games have never been enough to sway them to go out and buy the console. So they're never going to buy the console. They just have no desire to buy the console. They're PC gamers, and that's it.
Yeah.
But to buy the games that are made by these developers and by these studios still supports the studios and the developers.
It does.
So it's not like, I don't think it's a bad thing. Having amazing games be more accessible to people is not a bad thing. I don't think it's going to sway people from buying. I think if someone is going to buy a PS5, they're going to buy a PS5 because they want a home console experience.
Yep.
And these things are not going to come to Xbox.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So you're just making that choice. But having anything come to the PC, that's just a totally different realm. If someone's a PC gamer, they live by it. They've got their tattoo on their arm. Again, I have friends, they've wanted to play God of War for years, and it has not swayed them to go out and buy a console to do so.
Yeah, I just mean
same with like Ghost of
Tsushima.
There's a few other ones.
This is good for the consumer. 100% good for the consumer. Yeah. I'm just wondering if this is a smart decision on Sony's part, because this seems like really desperate, quick money grab a little bit in a struggling time. Mm-hmm. But when PS6 comes around, is there a need for it? Because we don't know what way PCs are going to be years down the line, right? Because PCs are constantly evolving in terms of form factor. Like the Steam Deck is now a PC.
Yep.
If you can have a Steam Deck, who knows what the Steam Deck 2 is going to be like? It could be a Nintendo Switch-like console. But I just saw a tweet from Shuhei playing Horizon Zero Dawn on a Steam Deck.
Wow.
So I'm wondering from Sony's perspective, like, because obviously this all works in Microsoft's favor, big time. If people are buying PCs to play Sony games, big whoop. What software are they running? It is going to be Windows, right? So that's a big win for Microsoft, and likely they're going to be running Game Pass on that as well. So it's like a huge win for Microsoft. I don't know if Sony doesn't really have like their own operating system or anything like that. Like they don't have anything in that space. Could this eventually lead to the end of Sony building consoles and just software?
I mean,
this is long run, obviously.
Deposit. I get you. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
There's no way to know, I suppose, until this whole thing kind of pans out. We see how it plays out. But it just when you're saying all that stuff, the timing is so interesting because was it only the week before that the president of Xbox did an interview and he was talking about how PlayStation just have like amazing exclusives. Like they just have like the best exclusives. We love their games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like thinking about it going, oh, I wonder if like, they're trying to make some kind of deal with PlayStation. And and then now the exclusives seem to all be coming to PC. As like maybe it is like they obviously were in conversation. They have to make that happen. It has to like to be able to run on PC, there has to be a conversation.
No, there doesn't. Because those
someone in Microsoft,
no, they wouldn't need to. Because you can just launch your software for Windows. Like you don't even need to have any conversation with Microsoft. It's Steam they would have had the conversation with because I think it's through the Steam store that you buy them.
Oh yeah, no, I don't necessarily mean that Sony had to have the conversation with Microsoft. What I mean is any conversations that happen somewhere would get to Microsoft. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
They'd hear about it.
I don't. Yeah, well, they'll certainly hear about it, but I don't think they're part of negotiations or anything.
And they'd be like, cool. Yes.
Yeah. It's a big win for them.
Let's do it. Yeah, of course.
Like, it doesn't matter what way. Like, I just think.
Have they won?
By accident.
The console war is over.
I think by accident, Microsoft are doing really, really well right here because it's like, out of desperation, people are buying Xboxes because they can't get a PlayStation 5, right? Out of desperation, Sony's moving PlayStation games to PC because they can't sell enough PlayStation 5s in order to fucking, like, it's... Either way, Microsoft is just kind of sitting there going, oh, wow, okay. Like, everything's working quite well for them. I do fear, because I think we've said this before, how, like, out of all of them, if one of the studios is going to, like, leave the games industry, it's probably going to be Sony. I don't think they have enough there to like sustain themselves if they can't keep up.
Isn't that crazy? Nearly a year later as well, and like not only is there not enough PS5s, but they just can't stay on the shelves either.
No,
like as soon as they're like, they probably don't even get into the shop. Like they're on delivery, they're in the van, they're on delivery, they stay in the van. And it's like, yeah, they're all sold. Go deliver them. Like they're just.
Well, like they are. I'm not going to say they're cheap, but they are affordable for the hardware that's in them.
Sure.
Just because of how expensive PC units are getting, like graphics cards are still like they're just ridiculously expensive. Like no one can really build a PC because they're so expensive. So. There's no doubt that they're flying off the shelves because it is the kind of almost the cheapest of that spec that you can buy, other than an Xbox, of course. But so no doubt they're flying off the shelves.
Yeah, let us know, everyone, what you think in terms of the Sony games coming to PC. What do you think it means? What do you think about the future of Sony? What you're thinking on this? And if you're someone that has a PS5. Or you're hoping to get a PS5, like let us know how'd you get on getting it, or are you still struggling to get one? They're fuckers. They're like those last two, where fucking bug snacks. You know what I mean? Like they're hard to catch to get them all. Before we get into any spooky stuff,
what the fuck
is there anything else? Huh?
What are you on about with this spooky?
We're going to talk about some spooky, scary shit. It's Halloween, and I love Halloween.
Okay.
But before we do, is there anything else that came up during the week that anyone wanted to highlight or talk about?
Well, I saw today, or a few hours ago, the new trailer for season 2 of The Witcher.
That's right. I
did
saw
not
as
see
well.
that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Huh.
That's great. There's an awesome sequence where it's like that choreography to that fight is fucking awesome.
I think I'll just watch the show. I think I'll miss out on the trailer.
You can, I mean, you can keep some of the stuff to surprise, but it looks like it's got. And look at the first season had a great budget already, but this looks like it's got an even bigger budget.
And it also looks like, because I know both of you were a bit like, nah, with the story of the first season.
Yeah,
this one looks like it actually now has a story.
Well, the first one had a story. I just didn't like how they structured it. I think they felt like they were being clever, and it's like, this is just a mess.
I think they were being clever, but they weren't being considerate.
Considerate?
Yeah. I felt as an audience member, my attention span wasn't being considered. And then by the last episode, it was like, these are all connected. Have you noticed? And I was like, not really.
All right.
And I was like, I wasn't paying that much attention.
All right. No, I felt that I kind of figured it like kind of very early on in the show.
All right, okay.
And I fucking hate when that happens, because then it's like, it's a bit like, remember when we were watching Spectre, and it's like, the reveal comes, and it's like, well, duh. You know, it's like, fucking, before you even announced who the actor was. You know, it's
Yeah. You announced the title, I knew he was going to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. No, it looks really good. There's an opening shot in the trailer of him walking in water. It's the most fucking amazing thing.
I love water.
No, it's
great.
honestly, it's stunning. It's stunning. It's like, oh, that looks fucking amazing.
Cool.
Not that, like, the water looks awful, like it's gross and horrible, but it's just such a beautiful shot.
Do you think that's the best, judging by season 1 now, the best video game adaptation ever?
Well, it's not really a video game adaptation; it's a book adaptation.
Well,
yeah, it is actually.
I know but it's obviously taking a lot from the games, considering how much Henry Cavill himself.
No, I think
he acts like the game, right?
I think Henry Cavill's acting like the game. I think everyone else is just looking at the
because the book doesn't necessarily have that voice, does it? You know, it's like
I might describe him as having a husky voice.
Maybe
he's definitely being
and he's such a huge gamer too. And let's face it, I think the games drew in that audience, not the books.
Oh yes, no,
no, 100%. And the thing is as well, because of the nature of The Witcher as a character, it didn't matter, because in our last episode I went on a big rant about how they need to treat the games differently in terms of adaptation. But I think with The Witcher, because like it comes down to adapting the character and the nature of the character, and like, while yes, there's a main story to The Witcher, ultimately the experience of The Witcher games is this character who wanders the wilds and takes on bounties and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, they got that in there, and they also had.
Yeah. Well, I think the difference there is that, like, it's The Witcher, so it's about The Witcher, as opposed to, the movie Resident Evil it's not fucking Claire Redfield the movie. Yeah. That would be a different, like, it's like, do what you want. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't have to be about the games. But if you're calling it Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, be identical to the game, please. I watched it after.
Did you? Okay. Well, no, given actually, because it's a Halloween episode, let's talk about Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City, and then we'll go from there. You watched the trailer, did you?
I watched the trailer.
What was your initial reaction? And spoilers, I suppose, for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, but check the trailer.
Well, I've seen way better, like, fan trailers. Not necessarily to Resident Evil, but when you see fan trailers on YouTube, they're so much better. Like even the CGI to this was like
awful.
Like, what was that? Like Underworld 4. Remember that one?
Oh right,
With
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking big gigantic werewolf in it.
Sure, I didn't see it. I don't know if it was as good as that even.
No, it's atrocious. It really is atrocious. I couldn't fucking believe it. That's your one as well, the playing Claire. Isn't that the one from Pirates of the Caribbean 4?
Yeah.
Or 5? Pirates 5?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's the horologist, Chris.
The what?
The horologist.
Horologist. What's a horologist?
Someone who studies the stars and time and shit.
It is, but that is the best.
The joke in the film.
That's the
is pretty
best
good.
line in the film.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. Jesus, I don't remember.
She's
that was
also
some shit film.
She plays Teresa in the Maze Runner trilogy as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember her.
Claire.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's Claire?
That's Claire.
Okay, sure. Like, I don't know. I
And the
It's
fucking
like-
song, was it like, what was the song that chose choice for that?
I said,
Hey,
hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
I couldn't help but think of Family Guy. Like,
No, I thought of that He-Man,
He-Man.
video.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
that's
of.
it. Yeah. With the Skeletor one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my god, I cried.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's weird. It was a weird song choice. It was a weird structuring of a trailer. They did that stupid thing again where they tease elements of the trailer before the trailer. I'm wondering how many people are excited about this.
I think, there's some diehard Resident Evil fans who will watch anything that is called Resident Evil. Like, it has the title Resident Evil in it. It's like, I don't give a fuck. It's the best thing ever. It exists because it has Resident Evil and it exists, and I'm just happy that there's just more Resident Evil in the world. But it just looks it looks shit. There's just it does. It actually looks like someone with a GoPro attached to them walking through like a London dungeon style like haunted house
Interactive experience.
Yeah. Where like it's just people with like blood painted on their face, and that's the zombie.
Yeah, and if it was that, you'd be like, that was amazing. That was such an amazing little tourist interactive experience.
Yeah. Like I'd love to know what their budget was. Like,
I can't imagine it was big.
or
Well,
did they
probably
just
the price
do everything
Price of a
themselves?
Subway.
It's the CGI though, isn't it? I mean, like I suppose it's maybe William Birkin, mutated, that the big thing,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, that looks like dog shit.
It looks like the CGI reminds me of the monsters from the first Scooby-Doo movie.
I'm not going to complain about any fucking CGI from a future Marvel movie ever again.
No, they look amazing
Because they look amazing compared to this.
They do. No, I tell you what, I actually thought the quality of the CGI in this trailer, and I think when I say this, context of time is like, you got to bear that in mind. This was like the quality of, say, the 1990 Mortal Kombat movie, Reptile and that,
Yeah.
or like maybe one of the dragons from like
Dragonheart.
Mortal Kombat 2.
or Dragonheart. Yeah, exactly. That level of CGI where it's like, even then that wasn't good, but that's fucking over 20 something years ago.
Yeah. No, it's just and it's not just that either. It's like everything. Like even clips with people in it look bad. Like whatever their focal length is, their color grading. I'm not even sure what aspect ratio they were using, but it felt like it wasn't framed correctly. Just everything about it felt like people who did not know how to make a film trying to make a film.
I thought the delivery of lines as well reminded me very much of, like, it comes off as like a porn movie without the sex. Like, something.
Like Army
like,
of the Dead now looks like the fucking best zombie
amazing.
movie ever made after seeing
right.
that trailer. Like,
Yeah. And in Army of the Dead, 50% of that was out of focus. So
yeah, I mean, they could have done with some of that. I mean, if that CGI was out of focus, it probably would have worked.
All right.
It would have worked. If I couldn't see it, probably actually. Well, that is key. That's key, isn't it? As well, I think in horror things, not being able to see the fucking thing is actually key.
Yeah, I cannot believe that this movie releasing now in 2021, that the liquor, which is sort of the end trailer thing, looks worse than the liquor from the original Resident Evil 1 movie. I also cannot believe, like, I was shocked when I watched this trailer, because I was like, leading up to it, like, even like I remember when they announced like the cast and everything, and just that they were including characters like Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. I was like, I'm so excited for this. I was like, whatever it turns out to be, it can't be worse.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
Or at least it looks like it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't wait to rewatch the other ones.
Well, hopefully the Netflix show is better quality than this.
The Netflix show was animated, no?
No,
was there not a
making,
Netflix? Yeah,
there's a Netflix live action show where Lance Reddick is playing Albert Wesker. I don't understand what Capcom is doing with it right now, with Resident Evil right now.
But do they have, like, is it anything to do with them though, other than them just licensing out the characters and stuff like that? It's like, as far as like Capcom's still going to get money out of this regardless.
Yeah,
and it's not going to affect the games at all. You know, if they come out with a Resident Evil 9,
no, not at all.
People are still going to buy it.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Afterlife looks great.
Afterlife was brilliant. Why do they feel
so good?
Why do they feel though that they can't? I just don't understand
why they can't just tell the story that it's in the game.
Yeah, why can't they just take Resident Evil 1 on its own?
Have any of you ever seen
Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2?
Have any of you ever seen Wreck?
Yeah.
Basically that, but with a Raccoon City policeman. If they just did that.
Yeah.
There's your first movie.
Or even if you want to think tone-wise, like The Raid, except all the enemies are zombies instead of...
Well, that's a little bit.
No, at some point you have to see Chris Redfield like ninja kick the zombies.
No,
they all get to that point.
No. He's not a ninja kicker. He's a boulder puncher.
That's true.
You gotta punch them.
He's a boulder punching asshole.
Punch through a wall.
Some people, I've seen though, are actually really excited for this movie, and they're like, no, they like the guys who are making it. They get it, man. Because when you play. Like they're like Resident Evil 1 the game.
Oh, I see.
Right. They're like,
yeah,
it's famous
for being shit.
Famous for being like shit.
Well, maybe maybe
this dialogue.
Maybe this is a Sharknado.
Like, did they go? Let's make purposely. I don't know. I don't know who's directing this. I don't know what the budget was. But were they like, we want to make a B movie?
Maybe, and if that's the case, this could be the best B movie ever made.
Is it even a B movie, or would this be like a C movie or a D movie? I don't know how you discern the rankings. Okay, before we move on, is there anything at all from the trailer that you actually honestly liked? Anything at all? Even if it's just a moment or a look, or is there anything you liked?
I suppose the somewhat accuracy of the costumes, even though the costumes looked like something you bought off Amazon, but the accuracy of the costumes, that was nice.
Okay.
Just trying to think. I'm just looking back through like images.
Oh,
just this
fucking Lisa. The fact that they're including Lisa Trevor, actually.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're including her. Couldn't really see her enough to see if she looked good, but she looked practical. So she actually might be the best looking creature in the movie, but I couldn't really make her out. But she didn't look CGI. So
no. So that thing I was quite.
I thought I was going to the zombie he's feeding and he turns around. It's like a reference to the first game.
The Ori one, right?
Like I thought that was going to be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then he turns around and he just looks like. He actually looks like a Reaper from Blade 2. Like, he doesn't look like a zombie.
Yeah.
So, no. There's nothing... okay, actually. At the end, they showed an umbrella on the floor. I thought that was cool.
Nice. I quite like the...
That's it.
they show her a couple of times. There's a zombie girl in a white gown who's missing a lot of hair.
Oh yeah.
Who runs around? She looks like she'd freak the fuck out of me. So I thought she was kind of creepy. So I thought that was kind of cool. Did you know, Adam? Did you even notice Leon S. Kennedy in it?
No,
You'll be shocked. Look him up. You'll be shocked.
I didn't notice him.
Of course you didn't notice him. He doesn't look anything like him. Not that I'm only looking for someone to look like someone. You know, you want him to be able to play the part as well. But like, you should try and make the person look somewhat like the character.
I don't know. I feel like they got this guy because diversity reasons.
No, I don't think so. Like, well, where's he from?
Oh, okay. No, I did see him, and yeah, that looks nothing like him. I thought it was someone else.
You would just think it's a cop. Of course, you would just think it's a cop. Like,
well, I actually thought it would have been one of the other guys from. I don't know their names.
Brad Vickers or the likes.
No, who's the guy? I think was he in 2? Oh no, he's in 3. Who's the guy in 3?
Oh, Carlos.
Was that Carlos
Oliveira? No, but then
Are you talking about the guy the guy who helps Jill, or the Stars guy who dies at like the start? Like the two main characters in Resident Evil 3 are Jill Valentine and Carlos Oliveira.
Maybe I'm thinking of Carlos. I mean, he looks like he could play Carlos.
He looks like he'd play Carlos more than he can play Leon.
Yeah, he doesn't even have blonde hair, which is like the first feature, I suppose, of Leon. And Leon has never had facial hair. So it's a bit odd. It just looks strange. It just looks like a guy in an RPD uniform. And they're going to call him Leon. But it's just a strange look. But anyway, maybe we're...
The guy playing Albert Wesker
like
is the big muscly guy from the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Eric was telling me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, strange.
And your one who plays Ghost in Ant-Man the Wasp is Jill Valentine.
What in the flip? Yeah, I just saw that.
It's a strange cast, man.
It really is.
It's a strange.
The
whole thing is strange.
It looks awful.
Do you know what I do wish, though? I'll be honest. I so wish this movie was releasing on Halloween on Netflix. I'd fucking watch it. But I would not go to the cinema to see this. But I'd watch it if it was on Netflix. I'd throw it on. Why not?
Right? Yeah.
Of course you would. Why not?
Absolutely.
Like it could be mindless fun, but I think I'd just be pissed off if I went to the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's different. That's a bit you're actually dipping into your wallet a bit.
Yeah.
And like I'm not I don't get as mad as you two do about that actually. Like I like if the movie is somewhat okay, I'm all right with that. But for something like this, I'd be like, I want the film to at least be finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm not too like if I'm kind of expecting the film not to be that great anyway, and then go see it, it doesn't annoy me. If I expect the film to be really good, like it's getting amazing reviews and stuff, and I go see it and I hate it, that's when I get a little pissed off.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Eric loves movies when he watches them at home.
Oh yeah, I love movies when they're fantastic.
Yeah, I tend to prefer films when I watch them at home as well.
Yeah, when they're not cinema. You know, when the movie isn't cinema, it's fantastic when you watch it at home.
Yeah.
But when the movie is cinema, yeah, I was watching cinema. Like Interstellar. I think I was saying this out a few months ago. I know obviously this is not horror, but actually
no.
Space is horrifying because, you know, in space no one can hear you scream. But anyway, I was like thinking back at it and just like the atmosphere and the music and the whole moment. I was like, I'd love for the cinema to bring that movie back because it's just complete in the cinema.
Yeah. It is a better experience in the cinema.
Yeah. That's
but it's just as good really at home.
Yeah, because I actually
a good surround sound.
I think I came out of the cinema after I watched Interstellar and I wasn't that mad on it. But it's only when I watched it the second time at home that I fucking it became like my favorite Nolan movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it your favorite Nolan movie?
Yeah, it actually is.
Eric, what's your favorite Nolan movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
There's my answer.
I'm gonna go Inception. That's probably
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I think it's pretty obvious.
I think that takes in a lot of the best of what he does. It's
Yeah.
got kind of the tone of
I just
The
didn't
Dark
want to be
Knight and
boring
stuff
though,
and
you
the
know.
great soundtrack. I know.
I mean,
yeah,
if I
it's-
said Inception's best movie, it's like, well, yeah.
Ugh.
But like, if
Well,
I say
no,
if I say Interstellar, I think
I know.
think
People are like,
Interstellar's
whoa.
best movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
we're gonna get dislikes.
This is
We're
it.
gonna
This
get
is not-
people in the comments.
This is what we want.
We're gonna have people listen to us in their car screaming at us.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
absolutely.
Like, bad press.
Although maybe people
Bad
would
press is good press.
more so go for the Dark Knight, though, right? A lot of people go for the Dark Knight.
No,
Yeah, they probably
that's
would,
more
actually.
This is number one. Yes, this is number
They probably
one.
would.
Of course
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Some people still say that's the best superhero movie ever made. Like.
Yeah, see, I don't count that really as a superhero movie. I count that more as a, I don't know.
Super villain movie.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We don't watch it for Batman.
Well,
some people probably do.
my appreciation for Batman's role in that movie has grown over time. I suppose in the beginning, yes, like Joker steals this show, and he does.
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
everyone's aware of it. But in terms of the writing of what's actually done with Batman's character and the battle of ideology and everything in that movie, I have grown to appreciate what the movie is actually about in terms of Batman's struggle as a natural sequel to Batman Begins.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
He's
I
fine.
actually think
He's fine.
It
in
is a good superhero movie.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's-
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great. But actually, just on the topic of Nolan, whatever about whichever one is his best. If you're listening and you have never seen Memento, I highly recommend it. It won't be the most entertaining watch really for you, but just stick with it. It's fucking awesome when you fully get what it's doing. And like in terms of someone who is a director directing something in an interesting way, I think Memento is.
Well,
just
Memento
superb.
sums up his entire exploration within cinema. Every single one of his movies, with probably the exception of the Dark Knight trilogy, deals with different kind of perceptions of time.
Yeah, time in
to
an
some
interesting
degree.
way is sort of his thing.
Because it's literally like that's film, isn't it? It's like you can capture time in a capsule and rewatch it back.
It's so
and
funny, actually.
He's so obsessed with that.
Someone was saying to him, it's like, oh, Memento, it's interesting because it doesn't really play in chronological order. And he was like, that's not true. It does play in chronological order. He was like, I would argue that this movie in particular, against any other movie I've ever made, like this was like a few years after, like, so he's made other movies since. He was like, this is the one movie I've made where you cannot remove a single scene. Every other movie, you could remove a scene and fill in the blanks, but actually in Memento, you cannot. You have to keep every scene exactly where it is, which is very interesting. So he sees it as actually the most linear movie he's made, even though it's, the way it's done is different to.
No, actually, when I think about it, the Dark Knight trilogy is such an odd choice for Nolan within his catalog.
Sure,
because
I'm so glad he touched it.
Yeah, definitely. Because even Insomnia is dealing with time to some degree.
Yeah.
Huh.
But then he does tell Batman Begins a lot of it through flashback.
True.
And so he does actually revert back and forth through time. It's actually only The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, which are pretty straightforward linear movies in that respect. That they're just kind of, I don't want to say run of the mill. They're superbly made movies, but they're kind of run of the mill in terms of how you approach storytelling.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I love these tangents. Batman's gonna become our new Skyrim. It's gonna until that Batman movie comes out. I'm gonna keep mentioning Batman.
I'm happy enough.
But also Skyrim. I'm happy enough with that. I would love to ask you guys so far.
Okay.
In whatever games you've been playing throughout the year, or maybe even games you've watched, or whatever. What has been the single scariest moment for you in gaming this year, and why was that the scariest moment
this
for you?
year?
Yeah, I actually have a feeling that me and Eric.
I could probably guess your two.
And I think, but that's the thing. I think Adam's is going to be different. But Eric,
well, yeah, that's because I'm
you.
assuming we have the same scene, and the same scene that I think both of us have is the moment that Adam went, ha ha ha, this is hilarious, while everyone else in the world shot enough bricks to make a house. And Adam laughed at it somehow.
And that house was a dollhouse.
That house was a dollhouse. That house contained the scariest fucking thing in the world.
Right. So we are, of course, talking about Resident Evil Village, which released earlier this year. We did loads of talking on it.
We did. When you go to House Beneviento, you go down to her basement, and you have to fucking run away from her giant baby.
It's fucking terrifying.
God, that's horrifying.
Yeah, that
crying and the giggling and the calling you dada, and it's like, please go away. I'm not ready to be a parent.
I remember pausing it and ringing you, Eric.
Yes, that was great.
I rang you a couple of times.
I wish I was there with you. I honestly, because
it felt like you were just like at one point just waiting, like because I rang him at one point during one of the puzzles where I was like, I have no idea what to fucking do. And he kind of told me what to do for one of the puzzles, and I was like, okay, all right, that's grand, thank you, because I just really wanted to like push on, and I got to a point where I was like, it was something you had to wash the wedding ring. It was the one thing I hadn't figured to do at the sink, and I was just looking around for ages, and I was like, I have fucking no idea what to do. But anyway, so he was like, what bit are you at? And I was like, I don't know. I've taken off the arms of the doll, and blah, blah. Anyway, eventually he told me to wash the ring, and I was like, okay, thanks. And he was like, okay. And I just have this feeling like that Eric was just sitting there waiting, like just because he had obviously already experienced it, and just waiting for my call again. And then in like another little while, and I had said to you, didn't I, on the phone? I was like, am I going to have to hide from something? Because I'd seen the cupboards that you could open them. I was like, because I'm not okay with this if I have to hide from something. I was getting like flashbacks to fucking Bane and Arkham Origins, or even like fucking Alien Isolation or something. Eric was like, I'm not telling you.
That's a yes if I ever heard one.
I know. So then he probably just waited until I rang again. When I was in it and I was hiding from the thing, and I rang again, and I was like, this is fucking horrible. I was like, this is horrible.
You should have put him on that kind of share play thing so he could watch.
I know. I was like, this is horrible. This is amazing. Well done to them. They've gone too far. It's like, this is too far for a Resident Evil game. I love it. I'm never leaving this cupboard. Just so fucking scared. Oh my God. But Eric, I kind of had a heads up in a way, because people had talked about that house being so horrifying.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what was going to happen in there, but I just knew to kind of prep myself and take it slowly and take it a bit at a time. So Eric, given that you played it first, I'd love to actually hear your telling of what your experience of it was like.
My telling was solve the yoke. It did take me a while. I think I actually did look up how to fucking solve it. I think I did. I think I got to a point where I was like, I don't fucking get what I'm supposed to do here. Like, that definitely took me a while, but eventually I got around doing it. You go down into that room where you hear the baby crying. I was like, oh, what the fucking shit. And then it stops. Obviously, you get the crib rocking, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to climb down this well. And you climb down the well, and you pick up the key, and then you hear the crash, and then you climb back up, and you see all the blood. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this PT bullshit I'm going to have to go through? I don't even have a fucking... And I didn't know about the cupboards. I didn't really notice the cupboards, or at least even if I did, I didn't put much pass on them. So I wasn't even coming into the conclusion that I had to hide from anything. So it's when I walk around that corner, and then there's the gadoosh, and the fucking baby comes around the corner. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I was like, ah! And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like backing up as it was coming towards me, and then I was like, what? Like, I don't know why it came into my head, but I was like, what if I don't move? What happens? I don't know why. I was in experimental mood. And that's when it grabbed me. It just kind of swallows me whole. And I was like, okay, let's not do that again. It was like halfway through the whole sequence of running away and trying to figure out shit. My heart is fucking pounding or whatever the hell it's doing. It was having heart palpitations, having a heart attack. Mom then comes in and goes, okay, let's go get the chips now. So I had to pause it, and we both fucked off to the chipper to get some chips, and I'm shitting myself. I'm still shitting myself after we left to get the chips, to come back to eat chips while we're getting away from this fucking baby. and then hiding under the bed. And the way I hid under the bed was the wrong way to do it. So I was like, I saw the bed and I was like, I saw the X symbol. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to hide underneath this bed. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh God, Jesus! So like, obviously, go back around the kitchen. Boom! Burst through the door. It starts falling on me. I'm like, oh shit! Fucking run! Fucking run! Fucking run! Get to the bedroom. Fucking just straight away crawl underneath the bed. And I was like, okay, grand. And then I realized I couldn't turn around in the bed. I couldn't like swivel around. I was like, oh,
You can't?
no, you can't swivel around.
Okay.
So the baby comes around in, boom, and I can't see it because it's behind me. And it starts crawling over. And then it's like there in front of me. And I'm like, this is grand. I can see it. Do I get out and run now? I'll wait for a bit and see what happens. And then it turns around and walks away. And then I'm like, oh, grand. Okay, it's leaving. But I can't swivel. So I don't know if it's gone. So I was waiting there for like 2 minutes going, okay, I think it's gone. Like that, I crawled out. Got on with the rest of it. I'm like, fucking God, it was terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know how, Adam. I don't know how you were able to laugh through that. There's something wrong with you.
I tell you why, because like I was going through the house at first, and I was expecting that woman, right? Because she looks a bit like almost like a black bride, a little bit. Like it looks like she has a veil and stuff. So I was expecting her to be roaming the house, and then when the lights go out. So when I see this giant, like, cow-sized fetus, I couldn't help but just laugh at it because it just wasn't what I was expecting. And I think I would have been more scared if it was just her roaming. That would have terrified me more.
I get you, but nah, this is worse than that.
No, like, I just thought it was fucking funny.
I think it was a little comical.
Yeah, it was just so bizarre and ridiculous. And also, it's like... It was so them trying to copy PT, right? So PT has a little fetus and it was kind of creepy and all that kind of stuff. But what made the fetus creepy in PT, I felt, was its distress. Right? Not necessarily the gore factor of it, but it's screaming and then you're hearing the music and then you're hearing the breathing behind you and stuff like that, right? It's the fact that this thing is freaking out. The fact, if that thing is freaking out, then what the fuck? Not it trying to kill you. That to me is not scary. Right. It's the unknown is scary. It's like not knowing what's after you. I was actually watching someone play it recently enough, and I'm actually a little bit more frightened watching people play it.
Wow!
Because you should see me and Chris play it then.
I don't have control, so I'm like you move or like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get you.
But I didn't notice actually when you get back up out of the well and you're kind of coming back around into it's you come back from the projector room and you're going to head towards what would be the well, and there's actually a figure walks past the window before you enter that room. And I never noticed.
I didn't know that.
I never noticed that until I saw that play.
Yeah, Mia walks by.
Oh,
really? Your hallucination of Mia walks by.
Oh yeah, because she's in the that's it, isn't it? She's actually in the end of the hallway one time. Isn't she? And then when I think that scares me more.
Detail was that the doll, which is obviously a doll of Mia, has like an opening then when you come back up, and the blood trail is coming from the doll, as if
I didn't notice that
was born out of the doll, and she's on the operating table, right? So like, just all of that imagery is fucked up, and the thing that this is a monstrosity of Rose. That's what it is. It represents Rose. It's just fucked up. It's fucking weird. But to be honest, with that kind of game, and with like the lighting and the atmosphere, it wouldn't have mattered what was chasing me. I would shit myself. Like, it wouldn't matter whether it was the woman, whether it was a baby, whether it was a doll, whatever it was. Anything would scare me because I cannot handle that whole thing of like once you hit, you're dead. And you have to hide, and you have no weapons, and the atmosphere is just terrifying. So
I mean, we all knew it though. The minute we saw Angie and the minute we saw Benevietta, we were like, "Well, she's the scariest thing in this game because there's the woman in black."
Yeah, I was like, "That's the worst one." I do wish
she was longer.
Her section was a little later in the game. I do think that
he
gets
to do away with her so early is kind of a shame, and I think for a lot of people that's one of the big highlights of that game. But what was your
I was
scariest
more
moment?
afraid of the castle in that section in that game.
Big milkers?
The daughters and stuff like that
Daughters are so
coming after
cool.
you, because I wasn't really sure what to be doing, you know, like
Yeah,
at least with something like the big baby coming after you, you know there's a, like, I knew there's a trick to it. I knew I just needed to run, and then at some point I'll be at the end of this, right? Because it's like I've played this before. But
I think as well the language of the game design is already telling you
yeah,
you have to hide. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
little hints there. So
like I enjoyed it. I don't think it's like shit or anything like that. I really loved that sequence. It was like one of my favorite parts of the game. But the daughters in the castle, that's something where I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if there's a trick to it, or am I supposed to beat them, or like am I wasting my bullets here? Same with actually the stronghold, when you run in there and it's like all the different lichens and they keep coming after you. They keep coming and coming and coming and coming. I went in, I think I've mentioned this before, like a ton of rounds, almost 200 rounds or something like that. And I ran out of bullets. And I was down to my knife, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? And then it's like, oh, you just walk through the door. But that stuff like really stresses me out, because I'm just not sure what it is that I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of scariest thing this year, that's really the only horror game I've played. So,
So it's got to be within whatever moment from that you found the scariest, isn't it?
Well, actually, the scariest thing this year was playing Skyrim VR.
Wow! Hey, you gotta mention
Skyrim VR. And the TV starts glitching.
Oh yeah.
Going like kind of green and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I've seen this before. I've seen this happen before on my PS3. And I've seen it happen on an Xbox 360. And they actually tried to scare us with a similar effect in Arkham Asylum. And that always indicates a GPU failure. So that scared the living shit out of me, because I thought the console was broken. There's nothing scarier.
Is it?
No, I don't know. I haven't tried.
You haven't turned it on since?
No.
I'd have to the next day, no matter what's going on, just to check it. I was so scared.
Yeah.
Jeez, so that's kind of one of the things why you'd really want a PSVR 2.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's nothing to do with the VR headset. That's the console.
That's the console.
Yeah, but what I mean is
the
if
problem with the console.
a VR headset that's optimized for PS5, so that then you can play VR on PS5 without having to worry about breaking your PS4 while playing VR.
Well, it would be more demanding, so it actually would be worse.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You should just give up on the VR dream.
Yeah, VR.
Yeah.
It's a pipe dream.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
Yeah, no, that's pretty.
God,
scary,
imagine Resident Evil 8 in VR.
I was surprised it wasn't, to be honest, because there was so much.
Because 7 was.
Love for 7.
I'm shocked that Resident Evil 4 hasn't been announced for VR, right? Because if for PSVR.
Oh,
PSVR.
PSVR.
Sorry, I thought you just said VR.
It's for Oculus.
It's done really well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be really great. I would buy that, absolutely. But
of course you would.
Like if the PSVR is able to play all of Resi 7, then there's really no excuse. Like, why isn't this on PSVR?
Yeah.
But looks, I'm actually, speaking of, because we're on Resident Evil and it's Halloween, and that game holds a special place in the dark recesses of the horror of my mind, to help me get over horror. But like some of the lines, I think I talked about this before, didn't I? Which is,
yeah, I don't think on podcast though.
On podcast, okay,
I don't think so.
Where like they took out some of the lines,
of
the cheesy one-liners and stuff, which is kind of like some of them were a bit like but that kind of added to the
the overall cheesiness and charm
Yeah,
of the game.
added to the charm of the game. But there was one sequence in it where Louisera first meets the daughter, meets Ashley Graham, and he's like, "Oh, I see the president has equipped his daughter with ballistics. You know, being the sleazebag that he is." And she goes, "How rude! You know, essentially, go fuck yourself. Stop being a pervert." You know, kind of defends herself, I suppose, right? And then says, "Who the hell are you?" But then it took that out. So he just kind of comes along and he's like, "Hey, Leon, here's a stick." And then she goes, "Who the hell are you?" As so rude, and it kind of ruins the character.
I don't know why studios keep doing this, you know, like this kind of, oh, we need to be a little bit more
PC
sensitive. It's like look at Grand Theft Auto. Look, like they just released the trilogy yet again with the most filth shit in those games, right?
Yeah.
Why like no one had an issue with it?
Isn't Louisera supposed to be a little bit of a bad guy as well? Isn't he kind of? He's sort of helping the bad guys, right? Like, he's not a good guy, right? So
no, he is.
You don't have to try and clean up his lines, though.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call him a good guy, but isn't he a cop that was sent in to investigate?
Did he not help develop the Las Plagas or something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
My memory's a bit iffy.
I don't know. I don't know what his role is. I always thought he was like a double agent kind of person.
No, he wasn't a double agent, but I don't think he was a cop either. He was fired and he went in of his own accord or something like that. Either way, he's definitely. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what role he kind of played in the overall story, apart from just being there and kind of helping Leon out. But I'd say he definitely took bribes as a police officer. Like he wasn't
he's one of those kind of guys.
Yeah. He wasn't
he's not a good
guy.
cop.
No, he's not a good cop. So therefore, by him looking at the president's daughter and having a bit of a sleazebag line, fits into the character.
This would be the equivalent of like re-releasing something like fucking Goldfinger and removing all the shit from that. You know, like it's like
sure,
that's the entire movie gone.
But it also gives Ashley a chance to stick up for herself.
Yeah, in this entire
and it doesn't matter what you do.
Context.
She's annoying as fuck.
Oh, she's always annoying. Yeah. You might as well.
She's badly written anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Let her have a moment because
it is a moment of like, look, women and girls and whatever. You don't actually have to put up with a guy being a sleazebag. You could tell them that they're being rude and they should back off.
Yeah, but I just don't think anyone playing the game
Ashley's
is actually
our hero.
caring about that at that moment in time. They're just like, I just really need to fucking survive this.
Well, no one cares, and that is a great moment. And my God, it's not scary, but like, it's just
sure.
It seems weird to me that like studios keep doing this because the people who are mad at this shit are such a minority. Like they really are. It's Kotaku, and that's it. Like that's it.
It's Facebook or the Metaverse, which is I think it's called now, right? Join the Meta. Yeah. It's called Meta. Okay. I suppose just to round off the episode, I'd love to also ask, at Halloween time, is there a particular game that you like to play around Halloween? I don't know if you guys get kind of festive in that way, but is there ever like a type of game or any particular games that you come back to around the Halloween season?
No.
Eric, no. Straight out, no.
Yeah, I'll watch a movie more so than play a game.
Oh, what movie would you watch? What kind of movies?
Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's just horrifying.
Well, things like like Nightmare Before Christmas, that's one. I think last year I watched Dog Soldiers.
Oh yeah, great movie.
Good track.
There's a bit of that in Village, isn't there?
Absolutely. Yeah. I won't watch anything that's like, crazy. Like
you should watch The Ritual.
Yeah, no, you can't.
It's genuinely
so
watch it.
It's fucking good.
It's not scary at all.
It's
watch it.
Well, no, it is scary.
I've heard from people who love horror movies, like watch things like Wreck and Martyr and shit like that, and love that shit, calling this scary. So no, you can't.
The Ritual is scary. I watched it during the daylight, and I paused it a couple of times. Like it scared the shit out of me, and I'm a bit of a pussy, but it is so well made. Oh my God, the cinematography and the design of the creature,
okay,
which I will not spoil, is fucking awesome.
Right.
So fucking cool. If nothing else, just go Google image it and spoil it on yourself.
Sure.
But just the way in which it reveals itself in the film is amazing. It is one of my favorite little cinematic moments in horror. It's just so good.
Just watch the movie.
Yeah,
It's not scary. It's fine. It's grand. It's grand.
You hear, Eric?
It's not scary.
You've become a bit of a horror veteran, even though you used to be the scariest of us, but now you're like, yeah, whatever, bring it on.
No, but I still wouldn't watch fucking Wreck. Fuck that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like there's certain things I won't. There's still
I've
some
watched
horror.
Wreck. I've watched Wreck.
Are you going to tell me that Ritual's more scary than Wreck?
I can't remember, but then my environment in which I was watching Wreck was different because it was with a group of friends and it was at like a sleepover.
Yeah.
And when you're watching a horror movie that way, it's like, yes, you could still be like, oh, this is quite scary, but also you have people kind of joking during it and talking during it as well a little bit.
Yeah.
So like, I've never watched like on my own with the fucking lights off,
Yeah.
So I can't remember how scary Wreck really is in its own merits. Yeah, no, the scary imagery for sure, and it's unnerving, definitely. But yeah. Eric, is there anything that you watched then around Halloween?
No, I don't really celebrate Halloween. I've never really liked Halloween.
Why is that?
Because there's always all scary shit going on. I don't like scary shit.
What? You just said the ritual isn't scary at all, and if you're a liar, it is.
It's not scary at all.
Play
So
horror games.
Yeah,
You know what?
I'd probably play one of the Resident Evil games. That's probably what I would do. This like I don't have like a ritual. Like, oh, I have to watch the ritual. For my ritual.
Sure.
On this ritualistic holiday.
Yeah, Halloween for me was just never. I don't know. Like I'm definitely like with Christmas and stuff. It's like a big, huge celebration. But Halloween, I was always just like, whatever. It exists. But like, yeah, some people are fucking mad into Halloween. Like, really go all out. I don't even fucking put up decorations. Like,
no, I've no decorations up.
no.
I think if I could, I would, but I just didn't. It always creeps up on you. Hey, I didn't really have time. But I love Halloween. I fucking love it. I think it's great.
The one thing I'm really dreading about growing up and owning my own house is fucking trick or treaters.
Yeah, that's probably the scariest thing. That's what I'm doing this Halloween. Yeah, I'm going to have to fucking answer the
boarding
door.
up the windows and shit.
As they start coming like towards your house, you just open the door and start fucking sweets at them and
just start chasing them, right? Wearing a MAGA hat and coughing on them.
Because to be fair, the kids are like with it. That's scary to them.
That's scary as fuck.
They know. They do their research.
Yeah.
Or
I'll just chase them with a big like sign, like a T-shirt that says Meta on it, saying "I want your data." Let me sell your data.
Well, I have a few. I love Halloween because it's like the one time of the year, like people who do it, they get like anyone can be theatrical, and it's real theater. Halloween is.
That's probably why I hate it.
Yeah, I like it. Not as much as Christmas. I prefer Christmas, but the other thing is like Halloween gets a week at best. Like it doesn't get. There's not a month of Halloween. Like, you know what I mean?
That's because there's now fucking 3 months of Christmas. It's ridiculous.
I know that, and that is ridiculous.
It's awesome. Christmas
but
every day, all day.
I do tend to want to play a game on Halloween.
Okay.
And so I try to look for like a horror game.
I mean, there's Alan Wake now, isn't there?
Yeah, Alan Wake is one. Until Dawn is one that I've played a couple of Halloweens, especially if there's people over. That's a great one to play with friends, and it's a perfect slasher thriller horror game. Like it's awesome. But I also around like when it's coming up to Halloween, I also really enjoy playing, which aren't scary, but of the Arkham games, both Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight. The two of them are really Halloweeny versus Origins and City are very Christmassy. They're very like the Christmas season. They're very wintry.
Right, okay.
But like Arkham Asylum has such a Halloweeny, like cartoony style to it anyway. And Arkham Knight is based on Halloween. Like there's Halloween decorations all over the fucking place.
I would play PT if it still existed. I think that's why I don't like, because games, they're long. It takes a while to get into it. It's like, you could be like, let's all put this on and celebrate Halloween. It's like fucking 5 hours later. It's like, when is thing gonna happen. Like,
Right,
you
right,
know.
yeah.
Whereas like films are
Well, I
Just 2 hour
have the
enjoyment.
best game for you to try then, Adam, because it gets into it very quickly and great fun, man. It's not scary at all. It's called Resident Evil 2.
right.
I just fucking played the thing.
Everyone
I
wants
will-
you to play it. Everyone wants Adam to play Resident
I
Evil
will,
2.
I will sit with you and help you and tell you when Mr. X is not going to show up.
He'll be your guy in the chair. Mr. X will be like the agents. You'll be
Right.
like Neo, and Eric will be like Mr. Wizard. You know, and he'll help you
Is
get
that
through
his
all
name
that.
in it, Mr. Wizard?
No, his name's Tank. I don't know why Neo calls him Mr. Wizard at that point. Or is that not what he says? I've
Maybe
watched
he
that movie
doesn't say that.
so many times, and I do not know what he says other than Mr. Wizard. Get me the hell out of here.
I think he says Mr. Wizard, yeah.
I don't know if that's
Why
true.
does what? No, I've come to the conclusion that can't be what he says, but I also can't hear anything else.
No.
Yeah.
He says Mr. Wizard.
Why
I think
does
I'm
he
gonna
call
have
him
to
Mr.
watch
Wizard?
that with
With
subtitles.
subtitles. Just that scene to see
Yeah.
what does he say, and then if it confirms that he says Mr. Wizard, then
Why?
you have to go, why? What's the? Do you know what it is?
Hmm.
Because I get it. It's a Wizard of Oz reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's behind the curtain.
Right. Sure.
Do you think it could be?
No.
It could be. Really?
Yeah.
Given that there's other
I've-
Wizard of Oz references in the movie?
Is there?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Fasten your seatbelt, Doherty. That's the only real one, though.
Because
isn't it?
Kansas is going bye-bye.
I feel like he's going like Mr. Wizard and more just like a nerdy panic trying to keep himself calm. Like, I'm going to call you something ridiculous because that's going to
Yeah,
be
because
ridiculous.
that's
No,
what we all do when
yeah,
we're fucking
no,
panicked
yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah, Mr. Wizard.
We start screaming D&D names at people.
yeah. Necromancer.
Time to role play.
No, like,
Yeah, when that baby was coming towards me, I was like, fuck off, Archibald.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying in terms of why Keanu Reeves delivers it that way. I'm getting more so to like why that was written in the script, and I think it's a Wizard of Oz reference
Okay.
because the Wizard of Oz is all about a dream.
What if he doesn't say it?
What if he doesn't say it at all, and this is just bullshit?
And he's actually just saying, Tank, get me the hell out of here. But for some reason, everyone hears Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, if you say Tank 3 times in a mirror, you'll hear Mr. Wizard. What does he say? People fucking let us know, but also let us know, what do you like to play or watch at Halloween time? What's your go-to Halloween game or movie? We'd love to hear from you. So if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know down in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this discussion, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell for future content. This is on audio platforms. You can also touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on everything we brought up here today. And also give us some recommendations too of like shit we should play or shit we should watch. And maybe
That's dangerous.
That's very
Adam.
dangerous.
Pressure Adam. He has to play Resident Evil 2 and he has to watch The Ritual.
Yeah, at the same time.
Like, this is why I like Christmas. Fuck you guys. I don't like scary shit. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll be back to talk to you guys about more stuff next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.